Welcome on into the Fantasy Football Forge. My name's Steve. Today we're going to be re-ranking the tight end position from earlier this offseason. What you're seeing on the screen right now are my rankings earlier this offseason. I might be missing a name. I just finished recording the quarterbacks video, and I thought, hey, I've got everything ready to go. Let's just go into the tight ends. I haven't even looked at this to pre-plan anything. So any names missing, I'll just, talk about. But a couple of quick announcements. Tuesdays, Thursdays, you can find me here live on YouTube and a bunch of other people doing mock drafts, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on and join us. It's good practice, doing 10-team, 12-team practices. This week I'll probably do a couple of extra 12-teamers because I have a draft coming up this Saturday or Sunday. I don't quite recall. I think the 16th, so 13th, 14th, 15th. Sounds like Saturday, right? If that is true. So right now, you're looking at my wonderful, beautiful website. And up on the website is where you can find my rankings. You scroll down a little ways on the front page, like I just did, and you can click on this, and that's going to bring you to this cheat sheet, draft day sheet, bar sheet, I don't know what you want to call them, but, where you cross off the players as they get drafted as you go while you're drafting in person, not drafting online. Print this on out. Use it. Print it out for all your league mates. If you think I have horrible rankings, print them off for your league mates. Make them use them. Whatever the reason, it's a resource out there that you can use. And so you can see I have my little tier rankings on here, updating this like once a week as we get right into the end of this month. Of course, more urgent fixes, updates will be made to it, but it stays quite up to date. And of course, up on the website, you can click on a rankings tab, which is just above the screen that you can see right now, and that brings you to a sheet where you can also click on that same kind of link up top there, and you get all of the up-to-date rankings. They are up when I update them, pretty much immediately they get updated on here. So immediate feedback there in terms of any updates that happen, and they do happen. So with that, I'm clicking on the wrong buttons. I want to make sure you can see the screen correctly. I was stalling for a moment there behind the scenes up front here. We've got some tight end rankings to re-rank. So let's see how different these are or how the same they are. And I look at my top three, Trey McBride, George Kittle, Brock Bowers. I have not touched them. I like Trey McBride the most because I think that is the most similar situation to last year. I feel very, very good, comfortable about Trey McBride. Could easily put Brock Bowers or George Kittle in front of him. This is truly I don't know which one's going to do the best this year, and I don't think anybody knows, but probably, most likely, one of these three, even just top three, most likely these three will be the three at the end of the season, at least in terms of, on a weekly basis, being the best tight ends in half PPR, full PPR, probably standard as well. So, no brainers there for the top three, whatever order you like them in. It's understandable. I know Brock Bowers is the clear number one. I have him at 3. Big whoop. He's still very, very good, but I do think that there's other competition going on there. I don't expect the same year as last year, so I'm just trying to project forward, and that's how it works. Looks like I had Travis Kelce in the same tier as Sam Laporta. Probably just didn't want one tight end in a tier of their own. I try not doing that, but throughout the season, you will see that from time to time, especially amongst the tight ends. I don't think Sam Laporta gives you the same advantage as the other three, but when I look at the next guys, the Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, who, I'm not drafting them, despite where they're ranked here. I think Sam Laporta's just a little bit safer than them, as well as providing some more upside, but I also don't think he reaches the same height as the others. So he's just in this little, middling space, where I also don't really end up getting him, because I don't really end up liking my teams when I have drafted a tight end where you have to take him, because I just don't find that he's going to be, a massive game changer league winner for me, whereas Trey McBride, George Kittle, Brock Bowers do feel like they could be league winners, or really, just help to give you those advantages. Next here, I still do have Travis Kelce here, especially with Rashee Rice missing some time. I do like the fact that he lost some weight. I like that he I assume knows that this is his last year that he's going to be playing, at least at any kind of higher level. And so I am expecting him to have an improved year over last year. How much so, I don't know, but especially early season, probably quite useful throughout those weeks where Rashid Rice is gone. I would say very highly useful, get you off to a good start. But I still don't like the area of the draft where you have to draft him, and being older and everything. Last year, he kind of conserved himself for late season. This year, I think he's going to have to use his energy, especially early season. Then maybe there's a lull, and then maybe he's back at it, getting ramped up for the playoffs. But he got ramped up for the season, He lost weight. He's going at it this year. So I do have a certain level of confidence that he'll be useful. I just don't know that he'll be like a league winner useful. Mark Andrews, you look at the numbers, you look at Vegas, you look at everything. He deserves to be here. I still struggle to draft him no matter how much he falls, because I've had him almost every year of his career, including his breakout season. I drafted him right last pick of the draft. Well, he had a little bit of a late rise that year, so I think I had to take him in pick round 13. And somebody in the league was like, I was going to take him with my next pick. So nonetheless, really, really late in a draft, right? And I loved him that year, was singing his praises. He was great that year. It's been rough. It's been rough for where I've even gotten him at a value compared to his ADP the last 2 years. And it just, for one reason or another, each of those seasons he's failed me. I have moved down significantly on Evan Ingram. I don't know if he deserves that kind of hatred that I've brought upon him. He might deserve to be right up in there. Might deserve to be in this tier. I moved him out of this tier. I've re-tiered things. So I had a big tier of tight ends at one point, and now I went back and I reclapsed them down a little ways. I do have TJ Hockenson next here, also a guy who I think goes a little too high, but I do think that he'll probably be pretty decent this year in terms of getting targeted by J.J. McCarthy. Having that safety blanket for a first-year quarterback always helps them out and gives them something to rely upon, and I think that's T.J. Hockenson. Dalton Kincaid, I'm high on. I still fail to understand exactly why he's going as low as he's going. I hear the arguments and everything. I don't agree. David Njoku I have right behind that, somebody who I want to like more. He has the potential to be, very, very high up here. I was very concerned about him to start the offseason. Then the Quinshon Judkins things happened. Then I'm thinking they're going to be passing more. It's almost guaranteed that Joe Flacco is going to be the quarterback for a stretch. For that stretch, I like David Njoku a lot. What happens when they turn the reins over to Dylan Gabriel? Maybe Shedeur Sanders? I don't know. That. We know that the Joe Flacco loves David Njoku, though. So that's going to be nice while it lasts, and then I don't know what will happen. Tucker Kraft, I have apparently moved up a little bit in my rankings. He's one of those kind of, it's not the highest passing offense in Green Bay. I know people are expecting it to, rebound back to the Aaron Rodgers numbers. They're like, Green Bay since 2019 under head coach Matt LaFleur has never ran as much as they led last year, yet they invested the most that they've ever invested in their running back prior to last year. The entirety of the league has been moving to more rushing, and you look at what's happened with the Los Angeles Rams, the Sean McVay tree that LaFleur pulls from, and they returned to a more heavy rushing offense, gap, all the things that Green Bay is copying them in. I don't think last year was a fluke. To the extent that it happened, yes, I do expect them to pass a little bit more. But you look at everything that Aaron Rodgers is as a quarterback, inconsistent. How do you offset inconsistency and make that less volatile? You give that person fewer opportunities to be inconsistent, and you set them up with better situations where they're going to be more comfortable, and you keep the pressure off of them so that they can be more consistent while they're passing. That is why Green Bay is still a run-first offense. So I don't expect this to be a high amount of targets for Tucker Kraft, and I prefer a little bit of a floor, but all the mathematics say, and the studies that I've done, when it comes to the tight end position, ultimately you actually do want the boom or bust guys once we're outside of those top three. more so than like a consistent guy. And Green Bay's offense is good. Should be touchdown opportunities for Tucker Kraft coming into year 3, getting better. It could be quite good. So he makes it right into the back of that tier for me. Sorry, bit of a tangent there, but I just feel like people are misrepresenting things. Oh, and then, to go back to the passing versus the running, and of course they had Aaron Rodgers too for the first years that you're citing when people are citing this, how much the Green Bay pass attack is going to return to being a passer happier offense. And this is like, why are we citing the Aaron Rodgers offense? That was a totally different thing. Colston Loveland, Evan Ingram do start off this next year. I still don't really target Colston Loveland because I just don't have a great faith in that Chicago offense. But Vegas did agree with me on where I had him ranked here, so I just didn't end up moving him. But I'm not the most confident in that. Then maybe I was a little too low on Tyler Warren just in terms of the potential. I always talk about this with the rookies, the unknown factor, the present that you shake and you have no clue what it is. It could be anything. It could be terrible. It could be absolutely fantastic. And if it's fantastic, you get a deal for it. If it's terrible, well, it's a tight end. Whatever. So I'm definitely down on taking a shot on Tyler Warren. I just think there's going to be, especially I'm expecting Anthony Richardson to be the quarterback for a stretch of this year, and that's going to hurt the passing attack alone. And guys like Tyler Warren are going to need volume. And then you've got the competition at the exact same area of the field where he's working from Josh Downs, and I expect them to cannibalize each other a fair bit. And it's not like they don't have other great passing options as well. So I don't quite see the complete upside. I don't think the upside's highly likely to be reached for Tyler Warren, and so that's why I'm a little bit lower on him, despite him being a great talent. Of course, don't forget, Colston Loveland was drafted ahead of Tyler Warren in the NFL draft. Dallas Goedert's going to be the one who finishes off this little micro tier of mine. Of course, Jonnu Smith was in here. No Moss. Pat Frymuth I might have gotten too low on. And Mason Taylor I have lowered a little bit because he got injured this offseason, and rookies getting injured, especially at a position that usually takes a little bit of time to learn, you don't love. But I still love the opportunity for Mason Taylor, which is why he is still at the top of this next tier for me. And I'm not saying that you have to draft him over these other guys, just saying you could take him at the end of your draft, or if he pops off week 1, week 2, well, maybe go and get him, because that opportunity is really promising. Kyle Pitts, another guy, he's got some decent opportunity to be a higher target earner in a lower passing offense, in a Tucker Kraft type of situation, maybe in terms of the pass-run ratios, but he hasn't done it yet. He's still 24 years old. He's 2 years removed from a major injury. I just think that you can't shut the door on that yet. Cade Otton, I've got ranked right behind that. He is extremely low. I guess people are extremely concerned about the addition of Emeka Egbuka in that wide receiver room, and they just don't think the targets are there. But that was a very pass-happy offense last season. Of course, it's a new offensive coordinator. It is an in-house hire, though, so maybe there's some consistency there in terms of the style of the play calling, and definitely in terms of the language. But I just think people are too low on Cade Otton. Zach Ertz should be fine, should be good. They did bring in more competition, so now we've got Eckler, we've got Ertz, and we have Deebo Samuel all working in that same area of the field. So that's where I think you get a little bit concerned about each of those guys and how much they might eat into each other. Plus, that offense maybe regresses a little bit this year. Maybe not. It'd help if they could bring in Terry McLaurin. I'm not too concerned about that yet, but we'll see. And then Hunter Henry was good. Still probably going to be a reliable target for Drake May to throw into, and I just talked about it at the quarterbacks video. I still don't have like the highest of hopes for that wide receiver room. Obviously, it is better, and I for some reason I kind of blanked on the addition of Stephon Diggs in that video probably, but yeah, of course they did bring in Stephon Diggs. I do have a little bit of concern about the ultimate impact of an older receiver coming off of major injury, and how much he'll return to his previous form. But that does help things, no doubt. Then I did my rankings a little bit differently. So Isaiah Likely is one of those guys you just target, not because you're going to be using him, but because in case of an injury, he could be very good. But of course, he gets injured this off season. That's going to be an injury that might leak into the beginning of the season as well. And so for guys like that, the ramp-up period could be pretty ugly. It could be pretty slow and everything too once he comes back. So you just got to be cautious, but at this point, you're taking shots. Terrence Ferguson, also another rookie who I don't know if he's healthy again. I don't recall how serious. I don't think it was very serious, his injury is. But anytime that these rookies, especially tight ends, miss some of the offseason, it's never great. So, I still think it's a good opportunity there for Ferguson, but he might not even win that opportunity. I could probably be a little bit lower on that. I just really, really like the talent. He's a receiving talent, and so this is an upside chance on a guy where if it hits, then I can brag about it. Jake Ferguson, 22nd ranked guy. Brenton Strange. I think these guys are all usable, just more like waiver wire usable, most likely, but I don't know. Maybe we're a little low on Jake Ferguson. I was high on him last year. It did not go well. And then Elijah Royo is a guy where we've moved up because, no offense, no longer with the team. So that just opened up his opportunities, the potential there in Seattle. I think best case scenario, he's going to be a guy who goes off 1 week, has 2 touchdowns, 110 yards. Everybody's going to get him off the waiver wire, and then he's going to have 0 points. That's just the type of receiver that he is. Chig Okonkwo, right behind that, there's an opportunity there. Preseason, he got all the snaps with the number 1, which is good. So obviously there's that opportunity. Mike Gesicki, any kind of injuries, there's that opportunity. Then they brought in another tight end, though, and they've already got a nice tight end room. So, he's still the number 1 guy. But T. Higgins probably has to go down, I think, for that ultimately to be too useful. Then I've got Jonnu Smith here, actually 1 spot ahead of Pat Freiermuth, just because of his history in Atlanta and how he was used there. Dalton Schultz right behind there. I mean, these guys could still definitely be usable. And then we're going to get into some upside guys. Jatavion Sanders, you probably can't quite see that. There we go. So Jatavion Sanders there as an upside shot. Theo Johnson, starting tight end for the New York Giants. I just wasn't the biggest believer of him, but if you liked him coming out of college, he's somebody that you should be maybe willing to take a chance on, because that's a good opportunity for tight ends. And he had a good rookie season as well, promising. And then Tyler Higbee, I did move into this tier as well because of the Terrence Ferguson news. No offense, not ranked, really. I don't know what their plan is with him. Next tier, I have Darren Waller, Ben Sinnott, and Harold Fannin Jr. as, way, way outside shots to be something that could be valuable, but probably not going to have, the opportunity to be valuable. It's probably not going to come together for those guys, but hey, you never know. So those are my tight end rankings. I'll lower it one more time so you can kind of see those guys. There you go. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come check out some live mock drafts with us. And thank you very, very much for tuning on in. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.